they'll come true. So Soros ends up being in the firing line in the most unbelievable of ways. And I'm not here to defend him. I'm uncomfortable with the financial system that allows someone to make £1 billion out of a fall in our domestic currency. It looks like an act of sabotage upon the British economy. But I am here to defend people's right to, if you will, a fair hearing. 9 minutes after 10 is the time. I can't quite believe the transformation I've undertaken personally in my attitude to anti-Semitism in the last 2 or 3 years. Since I saw how easily Muslim people could be othered and demonised and turned into targets of the most vile and vicious of unjustified hatreds, I realised actually that what I had thought was perhaps a Jewish overreaction. So I went to a Catholic boarding school. I didn't have any Jewish friends growing up. Then I moved to Manchester for a year before going to university and made several Jewish friends. But never really encountered anti-Semitism from their perspective, because they were quite a self-contained group. And Manchester Grammar School, where most of them went, was I don't know if safe space is the right phrase to use, but it was not a place where anti-Semitism seemed to have a hold. And then I went off to be a gossip columnist and a book reviewer, and ended up a show business editor on Fleet Street. I never really encountered the phrase or even the concept, and until I started working here. And LBC then was very much a London radio station, and I don't want to indulge in lazy stereotypes, but political debate and conversations about issues, social and economic. Quite a lot of my Jewish friends now probably enjoy that kind of thing more than a lot of my friends from different backgrounds. So that's why there's always been traditionally a very strong Jewish listenership on LBC. But do you know, in my early days here, I was so ignorant of and confused by anti-Semitism that I thought I could come on the radio. In fact, I still do in a way, but I choose my words very differently now because I've become a lot more sensitive and educated. And I was so baffled by anti-Semitism, and so, yeah, all right, I'll put my hand up to being sceptical, that I did a show very, very early on in my career here, which invited people to ring in and explain their anti-Semitism, because I thought, in the way that we've become arguably rather good at in the years since, I thought I could pull apart their bigotries and laugh at them. And I did. But the way the language and the question that I posed, something, why don't you like Jewish people, or why do you hate Jews, of course lent itself to the notion that we were indulging in precisely the kind of behaviour that we were seeking to lampoon. But I don't think I'd do that now, because I don't think there's any mystery. I get it. I get it completely. I absolutely understand now why some people see the survival of the State of Israel as being more important than anything that could be remotely described as human rights or international law or Middle Eastern peace. It's the place you go if it all starts again. And it started throughout history. And I'm really sorry that it took me so long to understand this. But today's problem is that now that I'm, if you will, making up for lost time with my understanding of entrenched anti-Semitic feeling in the upper echelons of establishments and societies and oppressive governments, always reaching for the Jew as the scapegoat, always reaching for the Jew as the reason why people's lives aren't better, reaching for the Jew as the reason why there isn't enough money left for you. Throughout history, the backstabbing theory post-First World War that we're seeing a little bit of now with Brexit, the idea that the reason why things are going wrong isn't because it was a rubbish idea or because the evidence is correct. The reason things go wrong is because the liberals and the communists and the Jews undermined Germany in the First World War, and that's why they lost. And without that narrative taking hold, there never would have been a Second World War. So 10:13 is the time. Is, in your view, this coverage of this man on this day evidence of anti-Semitism crawling out of the shadows into the light again in Britain, or could I calm down a bit and relax? 0345 6060 973 is the number that you need. It is, I think, a very important question, but the notion, and I don't think there'll be any change on the employment of the phrase secret plot when it's not secret. and you factor in the way that George Soros is written about and reported in countries like Hungary and Poland, his organisation is banned from Russia and Uzbekistan. Again, I don't hold a candle for him, but he seems to me to spend a huge amount of money promoting what you would call an open world or democracy. And most of us think that's quite a good idea. I don't know what his detractors have against him, to be honest with you, except I suppose that an open society would see free movement of people become commonplace. And maybe it is that simple. Maybe it is just the free movement of people that repels them so much. But I want you to tell me, possibly to begin with as a Jewish person, whether or not you are, whether or not what I'm saying is chiming with you. 0345 60 60 973. So next month, just for